Warning. Anime Out of Context contains spoilers, explicit language, and general tomfoolery. Neither of our hosts are experts on any topic, and you should not take their opinions as such. Listen at your own discretion, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I am the weakest link. Hello.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
That was a chuckle. I like that. That was a good chuckle.
I'm just speaking the truth, getting it out there.
You are the weakest link in this vast, wide world of weebs, I have to say. But usually, it's a goodbye.
I wish it was goodbye, but I didn't think you would approve of me leaving the podcast that early in the episode, so...
Well, you've tried to in the past. It wouldn't surprise me.
Not to great results, but, there will always be the effort for me to escape this hell upon which I am constantly living in. Speaking of hell, what are we into today?
Well, Remington, I've been relatively nice to you lately.
Yeah?
I've shown you some okay things and some pretty decent things.
This is not giving me hope or faith for this week.
Well, Remington, I've given you a lot of good things over and over again.
Oh, God.
So today I thought I would try and counterbalance things a bit.
Yep, here we go.
But not in the way you think.
It's never in the way that I think.
A lot of people have said that our episodes can be a bit controversial from time to time.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a weird thought process people seem to go through.
As far as I am concerned, I am a voice for the people.
Which people?
I am a voice for the anti-weebs who are being shunned in all weeb communities. Those who watch anime but hate it all. Those people they are my people.
So you are your people.
Yeah, it's real. It's a small community. Yeah, I will admit.
The Venn diagram there is very
Me and like two other dudes, and that's about it. That's the list.
And one of them was Hitler.
Hitler, notorious for watching a lot of anime, but hating a lot of anime.
I mean, it's the reason he stopped being an artist after all.
Yeah, that was the thing that did it. That was the thing. He was a notorious manga artist, Adolf Hitler.
Which is why we have to promote so much, go do some art. It's good for you, because otherwise you get Hitler.
All right, so are we getting Hitler this week, Shaun?
Kind of.
Oh, no.
Not too bad, though. Actually, Remington,
on a scale of Gundam Seed to Kill la Kill, how Hitler are we going?
Oh. That's like a 1-0 scale, my dude. Oh, man. We are actually getting into a bit of... A lot of our episodes are controversial, like I said, so I figured rather than me try and extrapolate a fairly decent show or an okay show or a bit of an show, and then you bring out the controversy itself, I figured we'd start with controversy.
Oh, okay, perfect. Just make it all nice and front heavy with the controversy, so then by the end, maybe it will have leveled out.
Yep. And quite frankly, Remington, this controversy has been a controversy that's been in the anime community for years.
Is this a controversy we've already addressed?
No.
Okay, because I just want to double down that it isn't anime if it's American. So...
Okay, first of all... Fuck you.
All right, what controversy are we going to discuss today, Shaun?
There's actually several controversies surrounding this entire show.
I'm intrigued.
As you should be. It's complicated to say. Ever since the show first came out in, oh god, what was it? Late 90s, early 2000, I think.
Oh no.
It sparked a lot of upset and rage from various communities, as well as a lot of just questionable morals, to say the least.
Okay.
And those stigmas have kind of lessened over the years.
Okay, so we're going to be dealing with, like, something gay.
Well, Remington.
That's what I'm taking from this.
I mean,
am I wrong?
I suppose it depends on your perspective, really.
We're dealing with traps.
Not today, Remington.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I do have something in the works for that. I'm just trying to find the right anime that has a good balance of decent trap stuff as well as some not so decent trap stuff.
Oh boy, oh god.
Because, you gotta straddle that line there when you really dig into something as weird as traps. But funnily enough, traps, not as controversial as you'd think. Just kind of a bit of a weird trope that it has a lot of negatives attached to it, but people aren't as loud about complaining about it as you'd think.
Okay, so what is the controversy that was spawned in the late 90s, 2000s era?
Oh man, dude, there's so many actually. It spans different varieties of moral issues and political issues, as well as pissing off a lot of different organizations and parents alike.
Is this just my life story? Is this just my anime?
Yes, Remington, I've made an anime all about you.
You've been doing it since I was born.
Yes. It's called Please God, Just End It Now.
Oh,
It's a light novel adaptation, clearly.
yeah, obviously. I mean, very fitting title and very frustrating to many around.
Including yourself, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, by no means am I in support of myself. I agree with everyone who thinks I'm trash, because they're right.
Well, Remington, one of the big controversies in this show that has been slung, not as heavily focused, is the idea of child abuse.
Okay, wow.
What constitutes child abuse, per se.
Woo-wee.
The other thing is just cruelty in general.
Okay. Well, things got a lot less lighthearted real quick.
Yeah, there's also the cases of assault.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Child labor was one that came up, funnily enough.
Okay.
As well as just neglect. That was a big one. Including, oh man, there's just so many to list. Animal abuse was another big one as well.
All right. Well, now we've crossed the line.
Oh, yeah? Which
the most serious of grievances.
Oh, yeah? So all of the stuff happening to kids and humans.
No, it's terrible.
It's bad.
It's awful.
But the hurting of the animals.
That tops the list.
Yeah, in fact, this particular anime spawned a lot of hatred from big groups, the groups you'd expect. Things like PETA, which, by the way, PETA, horrible fucking group. And we may make a lot of jokes, but don't fucking follow them or respect them or anything. Horrible group, but they were up in arms about this. The Catholic Church was up in arms about this, as well as just about every other subsect of Christianity you could think of for a brief time. A lot of parents banned their kids from watching this for a long period of time.
I'll be honest, I tend to disagree with many parents, PETA, and the Catholic Church. So right now you have my attention.
Yeah. So the controversy was from some pretty big name people. And honestly, they had some points.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm not siding with them. Don't be ridiculous. And they gradually lessened off of it. Well, except for PETA. PETA's always up in arms about everything.
Yep.
There was a time where they tried to... Oh, God. It was the mid-2000s when they tried to advocate for Zerg rights. Which, if you don't know, Zerg are a race of alien insects from the StarCraft series. That are destructive and consume whole planets by swarming them. So yeah, they need our protection, clearly.
I would recommend everyone listening donate to a very awesome animal rescue organization, but not PETA.
Yeah, because they're not an animal rescue organization.
Yeah, almost any other animal rights organization would be a good one.
Yeah,
Just
here,
don't.
I'll give you an easy one. Humane Society. Done.
Beautiful, great
Easy.
one.
Job done. Not
Top
a problem.
tier.
Yeah, but this anime has spawned all this controversy, and I figured the best people to talk about why this anime was controversial and to dissect it bit by bit was us two chuckle fucks.
Hey, yeah, because we're so great and knowledgeable, and we carry controversial issues with such great finesse.
Mm-hmm.
Notoriously so.
And here's where it's gonna get extra controversial, Remington.
Oh, no. Oh,
I really enjoyed this show back in the day.
Oh, shit. Everyone heard it. Shaun abuses dogs and children.
Okay, first of all, fuck you.
Oh, see, what I'm worried about, Shaun.
Yes.
What I'm worried about is that this is a mild boozle. In the back of my mind, you've played it very straight and very serious, and I don't want to accuse you of boozling if it is indeed this series. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if he's trying to sneak in like a JoJo Part 3 bullshit on me?
I mean, I wouldn't do that right away, would I, Remington?
I'd hope not.
JoJo, we did a JoJo episode really recently, didn't we?
We did, and so I would hope that's not.
I mean, and JoJo,
the type of route you'd be going.
I mean, there is quite a few dead animals in JoJo's.
There is, notoriously in season 1, and you could definitely argue also child abuse, but with goddamn Poco.
Yeah.
Well,
he doesn't count as a child. Nobody cares about Poco. There would be no controversy spawned from Poco. Everyone hates Poco.
The world is a better place without Poco.
Yeah, agreed. Useless character. But no, I'm not doing JoJo this time.
Oh, that means there's some sort of boozle. There's some sort of boozle. I just don't know what it is.
Well, Remington, you accused me of being the worst kind of person because I liked this show and I supported child abuse and animal abuse. You're in the same boat.
Oh no.
Because you have supported this entire series your whole life.
Oh no.
And you're going to continue to support it, I imagine. Either that or you're going to be tearing it apart and you're going to hate yourself in the future for it. Because, Remington, what we're talking about today is Pokemon.
Oh my god, Pokemon! Oh, we're doing it. Pokemon, yeah, that's my childhood. That's like super westernized anime. It hardly even counts. I'm all in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is great. This is fine. Oh, see, I knew there was some boozle, but it's a good boozle. It's Pokemon.
I know how to throw you for a curveball.
Oh, see, Pokemon, I started playing the Pokemon games when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I've been bred into this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is totally acceptable. Admittedly, haven't seen too much of the anime. Like when I was young, I would watch it whenever it came on because Pokemon, obviously.
As we all did. The Indigo League, the inaugural season of the Pokemon anime, was all of our childhoods for the most part.
Yeah, so I never kept up, but it was always fun to see because Pokemon, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and you see what I mean when I say child abuse, neglect, animal abuse, all very valid claims.
Oh yeah, let's not. There's something real sinister if you look too close at the Pokemon world. But why look closely when there's Pokemon?
Which is contradicting every single time we've looked too closely at a series, Remington.
Well, yeah, but this is my childhood, Shaun.
And you have torn my childhood a new anus multiple times.
Yeah, but here's the difference, Shaun. Your childhood isn't my childhood.
You biased piece of shit.
Oh, no, this week is going to be fine. It's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, but did you think we were going to be watching the Indigo League opening season for Pokemon?
That was sort of my assumption.
Yeah, no, it'd be a very fair assumption. I mean, it is where the Pokemon anime started, and it's where everything really kind of coalesced into the grand king of westernized JRPG anime action. For kids, especially.
So this leads me to believe that is not the one we are doing.
No.
Okay.
We'll get to it eventually. But I honestly, Remington, we've been doing some short form anime recently.
Yep.
And I wanted to kind of bring you back up to speed with normal standard speed anime. So I was thinking of doing another short series this week, possibly. But then I was like, you know what? Nah, fuck it. Let's just watch a movie instead. Go to the opposite end of the spectrum. See how he reacts.
So there are multiple Pokemon movies, of which I've seen definitely one when I was really young, and maybe others that I can't remember for the life of me.
I can guarantee you've seen at least 2.
Okay, I've seen at least 2.
Because it's the same 2 that our generation revered growing up.
There was the one with oh yeah, there was the Mewtwo one and the Entei one. Those were the 2.
Yep.
Those were the 2.
Yep.
And both of them were real weird at times.
Yeah, that would be Pokemon the first movie and Pokemon 2000.
Oh, God.
Yep.
All right, so is it going to be either of the ones I've already seen?
Nope.
Okay, well, shit. So it's probably going to be untested waters. I'm not very familiar with Pokemon as it gets newer and newer.
Oh, don't worry. It is a movie set in the Kanto region, so you will get that going for you.
Okay, perfect. What one is it?
Well, Remington. First of all, I have to ask, do you know how many Pokemon movies there are?
Oh, how many Pokemon movies? All right, so I'm thinking that there would be at least one per region, but also a couple more than that, just for extra bullshit. So I'm going to guess that there is a whopping, I think there's like 12 or 13 of them.
12 or 13 Pokemon movies?
I'm going all in. I think there's a lot of them. I think there's 12 or 13, just a ton.
There's only 7 regions, soon to be 8.
But let's face it. We've mentioned this before. We talked about this a little bit last week. Pokemon at its core is sort of a merch anime.
There's no sort of about it, Rem.
Yeah, it's the biggest merch anime out there. It's the king of merch anime.
Because who doesn't love Pokemon to some extent?
I believe it is the single highest value IP out there, like Pokemon.
Yeah, it's so high on that list that anytime you see the word Pokemon, there's a little TM next to it.
Yeah, and so I feel like, yes, there may only be 7 or so regions, but so I guess I'm going almost 2 a region.
Okay, that's a pretty decent guess, actually. You're wrong.
Of course.
By a bit.
Oh, how many are there?
There are 21 with a 22nd in the works.
Jesus.
And that's not counting the most recent Detective Pikachu movie.
See, this was me estimating high. I thought, okay, yeah, 2 per region is a lot. Nope. Okay, it's just like every year they're churning one out. Holy cow.
Basically, actually, there's been one a year ever since, Pokemon.
Oh my god.
There was actually one year where there were 3 in a year.
Jeez.
And then there were 2 in 2009.
Many. Okay, so there are a lot of options to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with the vast majority of them, though I feel like I would be at least vaguely familiar with the early ones, like maybe little childhood Remington might have seen them on TV or something when they were happening, or in passing. Any newer ones, I know nothing about.
And that's what I was kind of hoping for. And I honestly, Rem, I thought I would drop one of those 2 movies for you, because I figured, well, that's a good place to start with Pokemon, because you and I both have Pokemon deeply ingrained in our soul.
Surely those have to be the most popular Pokemon.
They are.
Yeah, I mean,
without a doubt. The very first movie was childhood for a lot of people, and it had that one scene with Ash that made a lot of kids cry because they're like, oh my god, Ash is dead. Holy shit, Ash is dead. He's 10 and he died. I'm 10. I could die.
But then they stole the plot from Frozen, and it was just real shoddily done.
Yeah.
Pikachu is best, Elsa.
Jesus. Pikachu is best girl. I'm not okay with that, because I think Pikachu's a guy.
That's fine.
Depending on your lore.
All right, so which one is it? Out of the 21 options, Shaun.
Well, Remington, they recently actually just started an alternate continuity series of Pokemon movies.
Okay, so essentially the series equivalent of like a leaf green, fire red, heart gold, soul silver, etc.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you've got and it's telling Satoshi's story.
Oh yeah, it's a good old Satoshi.
We know him as Ash.
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't think he was called Ash in the actual Japanese version, right?
He only has one name, and it's American.
Hilariously,
Ash is gonna chow down with his jelly donuts, and it's all gonna be fine.
Yeah, the jelly ones are my favorite. Oh, man. But yeah, no, that was a big result of Americanization in kids anime being brought over, because around that time is when the first, anime for kids got brought over from Japan, and they had to heavily Americanize it so that American kids would not be confused.
I think that is silly, but ultimately it was my childhood, so I don't see it as bad.
Yeah, sure you do. I could rant for hours on why 4 kids are bastards and they are horrible and they need to die, which they did, thankfully.
Oh.
So really, it's just a lingering hatred I'm dealing with.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we're going to be set into that alternate canto.
Yep, and it's going to be telling the story of Ash from the beginning. You know,
okay.
he wakes up on the day of his 10th birthday, and he goes to get his first Pokemon.
Wait, so it's like a movie that just takes the Kanto region.
Yes.
I feel like that is an ambitious goal.
Oh, it's not going to take the whole Kanto region. Don't be ridiculous. It's not going to do it all in one movie. It's going to take a good chunk of it, but not all of it.
Okay, so where does it get to?
Well, that would be a spoiler, Remington.
You know what? I guess it would. Okay.
Yeah, that's how movies work. I can't just tell you how it's going to end.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, he gets to the Indigo League. I should have known.
I mean, I feel like we all know how Pokemon goes.
Okay, Remington, how does Pokemon go? Enlighten me. Say I've never, ever touched a Pokemon in my life. I'm an old, crotchety old man, and I just don't know what the Poke monsters are.
Okay, well, old man Rollins.
Yes?
Well, this 10-year-old boy.
Okay, that seems a bit young. All right.
It's imagine it like a bar mitzvah. He gets
Yeah.
a Pokemon, which is a little monster trapped in eternity in a small, technologically advanced orb.
Sounds like Satan.
Oh yes, and so he will always immediately have an electric mouse. And sometimes he'll get some other creatures that have different elements shoved into animals or plants or different brand new monsters that have no reference whatsoever.
That doesn't sound very, healthy.
And so then they go out on an adventure completely unsupervised, though they often find a friend around their age and possibly an adult that's much older that supervises him. In the early ages, it was done by a really perverted guy who was in charge of one of the main administrations of the region. And he was just a super pervert, and he just decided to quit his administration job to travel with some kids. And we all loved him. He was we all adored him. Like, we had no problem.
I mean, at least they have adult supervision.
Yeah, and so then they would just continue on basically fighting these pets of theirs that they adored, and they constantly value them.
Why are they punching their pets?
Well, they won't punch the pets. They'll have the pets fight each other, sort of like dog fighting or cock fighting, you know?
Oh, that's just mean.
No, but it's fine because reasons. In fact, in one of the seasons, there's an organization that's trying to stop that, and they're the baddies.
Wait a minute.
They're the villains of that season for trying to stop. They were like, it's animal abuse, and they're bad for it. Don't worry about it.
Well,
And you also have like this Team Rocket who's just trying to steal Pokemon.
Wait, why are they trying to steal Pokemon?
Because they're valuable, because money.
Well, why can't you just raise them yourself or buy them from a store?
You know, it seems like it's real easy considering like a 10-year-old will do it, and then also his similarly aged rival will also very often do it, and they will succeed very quickly. These are great questions, Old Man Rollins, and frankly, they don't have good answers. It's ultimately that the games were good.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, that's my summary of Pokemon.
Of Pokemon, the anime.
That
all
about hits the main beats.
Well, shit. I better get right on to it. I'm gonna go grab a cat and just start throwing it at a dog. Let's see what happens.
All right, so it's just going to start Ash's story, and we're going to see where it goes.
Yeah, and it hits a lot of the major story beats of the anime.
Oh man, is it? Oh, it's gonna include the Butterfree scene that made me so sad when I was.
It made everybody sad.
It ripped my heart out, and I loved Butterfree. It was like one of my favorite Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. It still is, honestly. It's as
so
far as
good.
bug types go, it's still really cute.
Oh,
But
it's gonna do that. Oh, if it does the Charmander one, that's also sad. Why was Pokemon so sad?
have you read the Pokedex? It's fucked up.
Yeah, the Pokedex is all sorts of oof. All right, well, this should be. I'm not sure what to expect because this is like my childhood, but sort of revamped, and so I know that I'm looking through it with nostalgia, but at the same time, it's newer and different in this version, so there's also a weird detachment. I'm not sure what to expect.
Allow me to give you a basic idea of what to expect. So it's got that basic Kanto storyline, a couple of the major story beats you remember. Not all of them, obviously,
Yep.
because the anime was like 30 episodes or more than that. I forget which.
Does it still have Brock and Misty?
Well,
What?
don't worry about it. And
what?
and where the show goes, it has all those story beats, but they kind of shove in some of the new stuff.
Oh.
Where they will have all the Kanto Pokemon you see classically, but then they'll just occasionally have things from like the Johto region,
That's
or
fine.
from the Hoenn region.
You know, that's reasonable.
Or when this came out, the most recent region was Alola, so...
Okay, I'm less familiar with that one, but I think that is a fine change.
There's
to
some
make.
really nice Pokemon in that region in particular. Gen 5 was the one that had a lot of real stinkers personally for me, but...
I don't know them by generation, so I'm clueless.
it's the one that had the garbage. And I mean that literally, a garbage
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah,
the first Pokemon, a lot of them were sort of trash.
yeah, but at least they had personality.
I mean, one of their personalities was they're angry eggs. They're a group of angry eggs. What do they evolve for? Palm tree?
A few years
But
later.
like not an angry palm tree. This is just like a stoned out palm tree.
I mean, yeah.
It's the natural progression of life.
And what happens a few years from now if you leave it on an island? I don't know. It turns into a dragon?
Yeah. Is it very dragon-like? No.
No, I mean, it's more like just a long palm tree.
Yeah, it just got bigger.
With a tail now. It's interesting. But hey, you remember those cute moles that you liked? Yeah, we gave them wigs.
Are they moles? What the fuck are they?
They're called the mole Pokemon, yeah.
I
but
don't know, man.
they're amorphous dildo Pokemon. It's fine.
Oh, there's so many questions that we could ask, but that would fill up way too much time.
Oh, that it would. I should at least tell you the title of the movie we're going to see.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's important.
Yes, this one came out in 2017, so it's the
Okay,
20th film.
Okay.
It's a Pokemon called... it's a Pokemon, excuse me. It's a movie called, in Japanese, Kimi ni Kiminta, or...
But of course.
Or I Choose You, and the full English title is I Choose You, Pikachu.
I never realized how light novelly it was. All right, let's do this shit.
Yeah, because there's one more thing I have to mention. I
Oh?
was going to show it to you in the original Japanese to give you kind of a bit of a contrast. But hilariously, the only place this is available is on Netflix, and guess what? They don't have on Netflix.
They don't have a Japanese version?
No, they just have the English and the alternate. They have everything but Japanese.
I love that.
Yeah, and
Frankly,
the dub,
acceptable, because that makes it easier on me.
the dub is about on par with the original Indigo League.
You say it as if I can remember I was 5. So.
Yeah. Great for 5-year-olds. You'll see.
Oh boy.
It's been a while since we've done a dub, but you'll get some of that flavor straight on.
Perfect.
And I'm curious to see how you'll react because they're. I also forgot to mention the storyline they do is a combination of all the Kanto stuff with a chunk of it from the Johto era.
Oh, okay.
Particularly the legendaries involved. Because it's a Pokemon movie, you have to have a Pokemon legendaries. So they decide to use the Johto legendaries because they're a bit more interesting than the
It
Three
seems
Birds.
weirdly ambitious, and I don't know what to expect. What can it cover? What will it cover? What is it doing? What's the plan?
Well, you're going to see some pretty things, Remington.
Okay.
And you're going to see some Pokemon. As for what else you'll see, well, we'll just have to watch to find out, won't we? And I think, Remington, with that, let's go watch the 20th Pokemon movie, I Choose You.
I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching the entirety of the 20th Pokemon movie, simply known as I Choose You. Remington, it was a bit controversial, wouldn't you say?
All right, let's get it right out there. Spoiler alert incoming. So, Pikachu talks. Pikachu speaks human words.
Oh, but Remington.
Oh boy.
Are you okay, Remington? Were you not prepared for this inevitable course of action?
What the fuck, Shaun? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, of course it does. Pokemon have talked in the past.
Yes, but not Pikachu. Except like sort of sometimes very weird situations. But they was just, no.
I mean, there's a whole movie about Pikachu talking.
Yes, but that is the whole premise. It doesn't just come out of nowhere and hit you in the skull with it. It wasn't even a necessary moment. We'll delve more into it later on in the episode.
And Remington,
But it tilted me.
Remington, do you know why I showed you this particular movie?
That is the only reason that I could fathom is because this movie, it just has the subtitle, the one where Pikachu talks.
Well, there's a bit more to it than that.
Is there?
There is. I do have some interesting insights on it, as well as one of the big reasons was it's because I love you, Remington.
Oh, God, no. If we could just forget about that.
Oh, you'll never be able to forget that. You're going to imagine that girly little voice popping out of that Pikachu for the rest of your life.
We'll critique the talking more when we get there, but oh boy.
Okay, then let's start from the basics, Remington. Pokemon, how do you feel about it?
All right, so starting from scratch, so I remember Pokemon quite fondly. I was just as swept up in the craze as anybody else, and starting the movie, it actually captured a lot of that whimsical joy, that fun, that childlike wonder, with everything else combined with a really good grasp on controlling nostalgia. I think they utilized nostalgia very, very well most of the time, and it had a very strong start.
I agree with you completely, Remington. In fact, loads of people, when they first got into the theater, were getting super excited. Here we were, seeing a story we all grew up with and we all loved as children, being reanimated in a condensed form that we can truly appreciate and enjoy.
And obviously, with what they were condensing, they definitely had some very fast pacing, which at times was okay. I thought that at times the fast pacing worked. Though at times they felt like they were pulling a Sword Art Online and they were just like, hey, now we're here. And it was like, oh, okay. Like when they just jumped to the third gym battle. And that tilted me a little bit as well.
Yeah?
But not as much as later. But it was still, it wasn't the best pacing. But it also was okay because you could see what they were going. It was essentially, at least for the first half, largely a greatest hits of what you remember.
And that was the entire goal. They wanted to give you the whole experience of Ash beginning his journey from Pallet Town and all of the memorable moments and heartfelt interactions that, shaped the entire series as a whole for us.
And I think that it works that it was so fast-paced, especially very, very early on, because let's face it, we all know the beginning story. We've played the games, we've watched the show, we are familiar with the general beat-by-beat structure, so it's okay if they sort of rush through all that is very, very familiar.
And that is hilariously one of the things you complained about in Full Metal Alchemist. It was only one of your minor complaints, but that was, in fact, a complaint you had.
Well, yeah, but with Pokemon, it's like doing the starting bit over and over and over again. I think we would all be glad if we could just not. We all have seen these things over and over and over again. And for me, I hadn't seen Full Metal Alchemist, and it also isn't as culturally relevant as Pokemon, which is in no way a controversial opinion. Because Pokemon is one of the most culturally iconic things ever.
It's actually the most successful IP in the world, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It has the most money behind it, the most backing, the most production value, and it has no signs of stopping anytime soon. No matter.
Well, with some of the decisions they're making with the games, we'll see about that.
It's not gonna stop. Let's be real. Come on.
No, everyone is complaining. Everyone's gonna buy the games.
You bet your ass everyone's gonna buy the game. Hell, I'm gonna buy a Switch just so I can have it. I want to have my Scottish Bonnie Lass Pokemon trainer just so I can curse at the other trainers and feel like it's in character.
And then you'll be angry that they don't have all the Pokemon they should and that they didn't put nearly as much effort into anything as they should have, but you'll still get it, and that'll be the end of it. You'll still give them way too much money. That's just how things go. We know that's how things go.
Yeah, I will give them some leeway with what they're doing with the new game, just because it's kind of a massive pain in the ass to make all those animations for over 700 Pokemon. But you think
most everything they've already made and the animations they have are mediocre. But this isn't about the game. This is about the movie.
No, that's a different episode for a podcast, maybe. Maybe we'll do a Pokemon game. Maybe we'll just sit down and play Yellow version all over again, see how that goes.
I could kick your ass in a Pokemon race.
A Pokemon race? I thought you were going to say Pokemon battle.
Well, maybe at the end of the Pokemon race we do a Pokemon battle. But I feel like I could just dominate the games far better than you, Shaun. I feel like I'm a better Pokemon trainer than you.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna lay down that claim now. Maybe we'll explore it at a later date, but I'm laying that down for a future date to look back on.
Oh, I am so tilted right now. I can't challenge you right fucking now because I know for a fact you do not have a DS.
I don't. But back to the movie itself, I think that it did a great job still capturing everything. And even with it being very fast-paced, usually it would stay pretty well. It would show you everything that you needed to. And it was confident that you, as the viewer, would understand, which most times we did. Sometimes it went a little too fast, but overall, it worked out very well. Now, when we get a Pokemon movie, Shaun, what you expect is the Pokemon. And they nail it on this front. The Pokemon, their interactions, their personalities, there are so many fantastic details built into all of the Pokemon here, especially all of the ones that aren't even shown for a while. Like, they don't make a point of all of the background ones, but they're there and they make the world feel alive. And that is one of the best things to see in a Pokemon movie because that's what it's all about.
In fact, that's actually one of the things the Pokemon group has done repeatedly well over and over and over, especially in the new Detective Pikachu movie, which I know for a fact you haven't seen because, you hate yourself.
Movies I don't really watch many of them, unless they're like the worst movies of all time. That's the criteria.
You just don't consume anything worthwhile. It's fine.
Yeah, that's,
but
including on the podcast.
And I think you'd like Detective Pikachu, Rem. Okay, I caught that. I'm gonna let it slide for now, but I caught what you said. I almost just ran over it, but
I almost got it through.
No. You're not slipping that by me.
As you were saying.
Detective Pikachu is actually a surprisingly enjoyable movie if you're a Pokemon fan. It's nothing too fantastic, but it's really enjoyable. And
it makes Pikachu talking acceptable.
Because it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, maybe that would have been the difference. Maybe if he would have been the voice of Pikachu in I Choose You, then maybe it would have been okay.
It's because I love you.
Oh,
I would have loved that, actually.
It would have been, it would have tilted me just as much, but maybe in a more favorable direction.
Exactly. But the background characters is what makes Pokemon movies so amazing, is because you notice all the little different quirks of the Pokemon and how they interact with their trainers in the background, as well as just the everyday life Pokemon. That just made it super enjoyable. But I have to ask, Remington, of the Pokemon we saw in the movie, which one was your favorite?
Oh, that's very difficult because all of them were great. Sad Charmander tugged at my heartstrings like no other, just like he did before, which was great and terrible to see. And that might be my favorite, specifically Charmander. When he evolves, meh, but sad Charmander.
It's your Moe thing, isn't it?
It is! It's so cute and adorable and sad and aw.
So you just like making Charmander sad, I understand.
Caterpie was also really adorable, which is one of my main metrics here.
Which is hilarious considering, if you think about it, it's a giant fucking caterpillar.
But it's such a cute caterpillar. And many caterpillars are adorable in real life, though many of them look terrifying as hell.
Yeah, and we've got plenty of Pokemon to empathize that as well. But, so, you think Charmander, then?
I might go with Charmander, specifically Sad Charmander, because that was fantastic.
Oh, I agree.
Though, I will say, they nailed Pikachu in this, except the one moment. Pikachu had just as much personality, because one of the things about Ash's Pikachu is that it's full of sass. And Sassy Pikachu, I related to Sassy Pikachu in so many ways.
Yeah, because it wasn't just a Pikachu. That was Ash's Pikachu, through and through.
And, they even, at one point, had it mimic another Pokemon because that's something that it does. They've captured nostalgia pretty well when it came to Pokemon and the moments. That being said, it isn't all good, Shaun.
No, it is not. And just for the record, I loved the Piplup personally.
Oh, the Piplup was great. I enjoyed the Piplup as well.
But There were quite a few problems in this anime, wouldn't you say, Rem?
Yeah, for everything good that this movie did, it did something not good at all. So it had really good animation and some really beautiful stuff.
Sometimes.
The CG was rough.
God awful, I would say.
Oh, God. And then there were moments where they did pseudo slow-mo, where they, instead of having slow motion, just gave you 4 frames, and that was it. And it made me wonder, if you had such high peaks, how can you have such low valleys? And it was rough. And then you have amazing characterization in the Pokemons. Lots of thought and detail have been put into that. But the people were all bad. I don't know if there was a single human character, that I enjoyed. Oak was a bit coy and sassy at the beginning, and that was enjoyable a little bit. But other than that, Ash, I feel like might be controversial. Ash was pretty okay. Possibly one of the best done characters. Not because he's a good character. Like, he's obnoxious, he's arrogant.
And a complete dumbass.
A complete dumbass, but it knows that he is, I feel. He's a dumb 10-year-old who has high goals. And I don't think that it shies away from that.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Ash was actually an okay done character.
Ash was Ash. Like, I had no complaints with Ash, aside from my complaints with Ash as a whole.
Yeah. His female companion was just fine. Team Rocket was pointless. That one was a very bad use of nostalgia. They just felt like they needed Team Rocket to exist because that's what they do. And that was not good. And then one of the worst, oh God, Sorrel. There's a character named Sorrel, and he's just so pretentious. Think like Haku Spirited Away or Sasuke from Naruto. He is just so pretentious and full of himself, and it's not that he's a bad person. In fact, he's supposed to be just knowledgeable and chill, but good God, I hate him.
Yeah, and one of the reasons you definitely hated him was, I'm gonna say it right now, the dub is pretty fucking bad, Remington.
I thought the dub was mediocre, but I don't think it was terrible.
There were some moments in it that just, oof. We don't really talk much about voice acting in anime, on this show in particular, because, Remington, you don't care.
No, not really. If you have a strong script and you show me real neat or adorable things, then it's gonna be okay. I can get over some mediocre voice acting, asterisk, Black Clover, dear God, stop.
Yeah, and I don't have that much of a reservation. I tend to heavily criticize voice acting, especially in anime dubs, because the hardest thing about making a dub is translating all of the dialogue in a meaningful way while making it sound like it's coming from an actual person. A lot of the times, though, this movie felt like exposition dumps with monotone inflections and just really bad translations a lot of the time. And I don't think that's the particular fault of the voice actors in particular. I just feel like it was a bit of bad direction overall.
Yeah, and a lot of the direction, just generally speaking, could have been a lot better. There were some decisions that just didn't seem to make sense, but Sorrel, easily my least favorite character for such a plethora of reasons. Though, another thing that I was impressed by, I thought that the Pokemon battles, there weren't many of them, but the ones that existed were good. I enjoyed seeing the proper Pokemon battles and the interactions between them. In fact, I would go so far to say that some of these Pokemon battles, and overall, I Choose You had better action sequences in the Pokemon battles than most shonen battle anime.
Okay, that's a really heavy claim, Remington.
Because, as I've said before, one of the things I've been disappointed with shonen is that it's usually just super move after super move after super move with very little interaction between anything at all. And you would expect Pokemon to be just that as well, because essentially that's what it is. But they actually interacted. They actually put more thought into it, and not better than every shonen battle anime action sequence, or even better than the best of them, just better than most, which essentially just means that it was pretty good, because I don't think most action in shonen is pretty good. I think overwhelmingly it's bad, when that should be what it shines in.
Oh God, here we go again. I just wanted controversy that I controlled for once, Remington.
You're doing a podcast with me. When it comes to controversy, I open my mouth and it just happens.
Jesus. You're worse than a certain, let's not get political this time. We got political last time.
Yeah, let's try and tone that level of controversy down.
Jesus Christ. But I will agree with you, Remington. A lot of the Pokemon battles were fairly well choreographed. Some of them were not. Some of them were
especially towards the end.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Remington. The stuff at the very end, which is supposed to be the most climactic battle scenes of the entire show, one of them was okay. The rest were absolutely garbage.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to I Choose You, I'm not expecting a ton with characters or story or plot, and I certainly didn't get it, but it's still disappointed. Obviously, you're going to have pretty one-dimensional characters. They had decent enough personalities, but it is ultimately very centered towards children, and although I don't think that's a great excuse, it's something to keep in mind, and especially is the reason why morality in this movie is way one-dimensional. There is good, there is bad, that is it. There is no nuance.
It's hilarious because the MacGuffin of the show straight up says, hey, this dude's evil right now.
Yeah, and I think that I was ready for the movie to be slightly good until they get to the mountain. And to those who have not seen it, the essential premise is that Ash, he sees Ho-Oh, he's gifted with a rainbow feather because he is going to be the rainbow hero.
Excuse you, don't you mean the rainbow wing?
The rainbow wing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a whole wing, but it's a feather. Don't worry about it. Language is hard, even for us who actually have English proper. English language is just fucked up in all sorts of ways. But he's supposed to be the rainbow hero because he's so pure of heart, so he needs to get to the rainbow mountain, and he needs to stick the rainbow wing into the rainbow mountain, and then battle Ho-Oh, I guess? Or as the old man says, battle Ho.
Battle Ho!
He never said Ho-Oh. The old man who guides them up the mountain.
Yep.
It's not that he's sort of saying Ho-Oh, but his voice is weird. He just says Ho.
Yeah, no, Bonji is his name. And honestly,
Bonji.
He's my favorite character in the whole show,
Thumbs
honestly.
up, Bonji. You get a pass, because...
Gotta go get them hoes.
Don't we all need to get those Pokemon hoes? And I thought that before they started with the mountain, I thought that it was pretty decent with the greatest hits and the Pokemon interactions. But the more it tried to have a plot, the more it focused on the bad drama, the worse it got. I would have strongly preferred focusing on the really well done Pokemon than the really poorly done drama and bullshit, because it fell apart so hard. They did so well with the Pokemon.
Yeah,
and
but...
why not just remove everyone? Just remove everyone, remove the people. I just want the Pokemon, because that was all that was really, really good.
You're gonna pull a fucking Gen 6 on them?
Where I think it's just the only way to go.
You're gonna pull out the ultimate weapon and use the power of the legendary Pokemon of Death to kill everybody?
I think so.
Oh my god.
For the sake of making a better movie. For the sake of art, I will kill everyone so that we only watch Pokemon.
Well, Remington, there are a few movies and specials that just focus on the Pokemon.
Thank God.
And we could watch those at some point, just for funsies.
Which I'm familiar with exactly one, and it's I guess possibly the most famous, like, mini-sode thing. With, like, you got the Pichu and an Emerald, and people were like, oh, it's Pika Bloom, but there was weirdness going on. Don't worry about it. But that special, I remember it being pretty decent, pretty fun.
Oh yeah, no, kid me loved it.
Because when they use Pokemon, things go well because they know Pokemon. They don't know stories. They don't know humans. They don't know complex emotions and truths. But Pokemon, they nail.
You want to know what the biggest problem with this movie is? And it's not the Pikachu talking. It's the fact that they try to do too goddamn much at once.
Yeah, I feel like for the first half, they did greatest hits, and that worked. If they would have continued greatest hits, it wouldn't have had a lot to it, but it would have been a nice nostalgia grab.
It would have been a good starting point for what they wanted to be a brand new Pokemon universe, is what essentially this movie was meant to do.
Yeah, 100%. You could even just get it to the first or second gym, and that still would be a fine ending point, I think.
Yeah.
That would have paced it decently well. But then you go on all this rainbow hero nonsense, and it's just really, really bad.
And real talk, it says the rainbow hero is supposed to be pure of heart. I don't think Ash is that pure of heart.
Yeah, not really. I mean, we're told that he is, but it's definitely one of those telling rather than showing moments.
Because, I mean, he's just an 11-year-old dumbass asshole. Oh, excuse me, 10-year-old.
Yeah, don't misage him.
Well, I mean, considering he's flopped between 11 and 10 for 20 years now, I don't know what to think anymore.
And so, towards the end, a very climactic moment, you have Asshole McGee, which is the guy who beat up Charmander and left him for dead in the rain. We're supposed to hate him, right? But he's basically a lot like Dio in the very first part of JoJo, where he's very one-dimensionally bad and not for much reason. He's just bad, you know he's bad. You saw him kick an adorable animal, so he's bad.
Oh, Cross, you mean.
And so then he battles with Ash, and they've had a battle before and Ash lost, but now they battle again and Ash wins with the now Charizard, who evolved real fucking quick.
Yeah, you know.
Which was okay, a bit hasty, but not the worst decision. They fight, Charizard wins, and then instead of accepting defeat, Asshole McGee just steals the Rainbow Wing and places it where it needs to go, which sort of made the battle a little bit pointless and weird. But then, because he is pure evil, then all shit hits the fan. And then Marshadow, who is also evil?
No, actually. No, Marshadow's not evil at all. What they tried to lay it out for you is, okay, so the Rainbow Wing hero will summon Ho-Ho. You get to interact with Ho-Ho. That's cool. What happens after that? I don't know.
Yeah, there's not much explanation or rhyme or reason.
No, it's because they didn't know how to make a story.
Yep.
But the Marshadow, his point is to observe the journey of the Rainbow Hero, and if at any point the Rainbow Hero loses his way or someone who is not worthy tries to summon Ho-Ho for whatever reason, then Marshadow will essentially reset the world.
Yeah, because Marshadow, like, you would think that Marshadow would just be focused on stopping the bad person. No, Marshadow is like, you messed up, everyone is going down. It's very Old Testament.
Yeah, it's lawful neutral to the finest degree.
Yeah, it's like, hey, listen, you did a bad thing, we're restarting this. Flood the world, who cares? It's gonna be great. And so a lot of things happen, lots of little sub-battles, which were a little less interesting than the proper battles. And at one point, Ash and Pikachu, they're in danger, and Ash sort of throws himself, and Ash dies. He dies. Woo!
He straight up gets Thanos snapped out of there.
Yeah, and as soon as that happened, I knew that he wasn't actually going to die.
I wanted him to.
Oh, I so badly wanted him to.
But it is a kid's show.
But it's a kid's show. I wrote the note, "Kill him, you cowards," because if they had actually killed Ash, the balls that it would have taken, it might have done a complete 180 for me.
Like, what if they had just...
That is a bold move.
What if they had just killed Ash and revealed that this was going to be a story of, like, the classic Pokemon games with, like, red and green?
That would have been great.
That would have been amazing.
It's a kid's show, but they did already have death. They killed a Pokemon already, like, murdered. Like, we saw it die.
And the most gruesome, like, well, not gruesome, but the most painful
tragic.
way
Like, it
possible.
froze to death.
Keeping your least favorite character alive.
Yeah! Sorrel, you are even worse. But, of course, Pikachu, on Ash's way to the afterlife, that's when Pikachu talks, because Ash asks Pikachu,
Why won't you get in your ball?
Why won't you get in your Pokeball? Which, I feel like if we just heard a really sad Pika Pika and, like, it nuzzled closer, like, into him as he fades away, we would have understood.
You mean like they did in the first movie when Ash supposedly died?
It's like, we know, we're not dumb. We can vaguely understand the Pika Pikas. And no, they assume their audience is super stupid, and they're like, it's really emotionally impactful if Pikachu just starts talking and declaring the love for Ash. And that made the moment so much worse, because now instead of an emotional moment where, like, he nuzzles in close as Ash disappears and we're like, oh, that's really tragic, we're just like, what the fuck did that happen?
There's a very famous YouTube video when this movie came out that went viral, so I'm amazed you hadn't heard about this at all. Well, actually, I'm not that amazed. You live under a rock when it comes to media. But it was amazing because someone was recording from the back of the audience, clearly someone who knew that what was going to happen and wanted to watch it a second time to see the audience's reaction, recorded it, and the entire theater erupts into shouts and screams and anger.
Truly, if you want to know how I reacted, you can just watch this very famous viral video because I would have fit perfectly in that audience. I was tilted. And so, of course, Pikachu jumps into the sparkly void and
I wish you'd jump into my sparkly void.
Maybe another day, Shaun. I'm just not ready for that level of commitment.
You're not willing to rescue me?
No.
Through a convoluted Deus Ex Machina means?
Ooh, I don't know about that. And so, yeah, because Pikachu just jumps into the sparkly void and rescues Ash from death, I guess. And then Ho-Oh comes and they battle-ish. We see, like, one move.
Which was a cool fucking move, and I would have loved to see that battle, but guess not.
Yeah, no, they skip, and then it's just ends with them
parting ways,
and that's it. And the first half wasn't amazing, but I think the first half would have been like a 6 out of 10, barely good, but good movie.
It was fan service to the highest degree.
But I think it was well done. Fan service, and of course fan service in the generic sense, not the...
not in the titty sense.
Yeah, there were no titties.
No. The closest thing we had was Jesse, but again...
Or Entei's lumps. But
those erupting lumps. Oh, God.
But I think they did well with the fan service and this nostalgia. They did well being both faithful while also keeping some minor changes to revamp it. And I think that overall, they struck a strong balance in the first half. But then the second half is just so abominable. And considering the first half was only teetering on good, no, there's no way that I can deem this as worthwhile or good. If you're listening to this, you have already heard the Pikachu moment, and there's no other reason to watch this show.
And that's if you just want to hurt yourself, or, in my case, hurt your friend.
Yeah.
But to clarify one thing, Remington, what ends up happening, though they don't explain it well at all, is Ho-Oh and Marshadow combined essentially bring Ash back, because Ho-Oh is canonically gifted with the ability to bring the dead back to life.
Yeah, because Ho-Oh is Jesus.
Yes.
And Ho-Oh, it's already revived 3 animals to turn into the legendary dogs, right? Though I have a question. Why doesn't Ash become a legendary Pokemon when he's resurrected?
Wait. No, even better. What if he was resurrected as Red, so we actually had a character we could care about?
Oh, perfect. Oh, that would have been great. Like, all he knows is the connection with Pikachu, and that's all he remembers. That would have been fine. That would have been interesting. It would have been weird.
And the first thing he sees is the red hat, and he just goes by Red.
Yeah.
Like that would have been. I would have digged that. That would have been amazing.
I don't know if it'd be amazing, but it would have been better.
Well, anything would have been better.
Yeah. It was just the flaws are too numerous. So even though I genuinely think that this movie has quite a few worthwhile elements, and that if it stuck to its highest peaks, it could have been incredible. It just had too many very, very bad decisions.
And some of the most impactful moments that we got to relive didn't have the same impact at all, would you say, Rem?
I'd say that, but at the same time, I think that's a lot due to how condensed it needs to be. And I think that for the emotional moments that it had, namely, like you had Butterfree and you had Charmander, the 2 most notable and possibly most famous, like, sad moments from the original anime, I think that it captured both of them well enough, given that it, 1, didn't have a full episode length to focus on just that one narrative, and 2, didn't have long enough to prepare the backstories beforehand. So I think that overall it did okay on those fronts.
I liked what they did with Charmander. I did not like how they handled the Butterfree scene.
Yeah, it could have definitely been better.
I'll be honest, I didn't give a shit. I knew what was
Yeah.
going on, and I didn't give a shit. Charmander I cared about because fuck, it's Charmander. Look how fucking cute it was.
Yeah, I think that's also because they sort of tried, but they didn't make us love Caterpie and Metapod enough, which was a part of why the Butterfree scene is so impactful. And if you don't know what we mean, how can you not know what we mean? Go watch the original anime.
It's on Netflix, guys.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, no, most of the Pokemon stuff is on Netflix. So, in America at least. I don't know about other countries.
And so it was so impactful because we loved little adorable Caterpie and then very stoic Metapod. And then when it was Butterfree, it felt like a success, an accomplishment. We had seen this little Caterpie grow. And then that moment, it's really sad. And so we weren't able to get all of that history, though they tried to show us the moments. That one fell more flat than the sad Charmander moment for sure.
But it's hard to make sad Charmander fall flat at all, honestly.
Oh, it's so sad.
But I'll be honest with you, Rem. You know what part in Caterpie's story traumatized me the most as a kid?
What part was it, Shaun?
It's when he was a Metapod and was fighting a wild pincer. Or it might have been a trainer's pincer, I don't know, either way. And Metapod gets stuck up in the pincers and then gets split in half. Needless to say, like 6-year-old me was traumatized for a while, and then it revealed that it just evolved in that time frame, which is cool, I guess, but oh my god, I was terrified. I thought I just watched a Pokemon get fucking... I just lost the pop culture reference. It's fine. He got split in half like, you know, a bad Subway sandwich. It was very bad.
I like how you didn't know where you were going and where you ended up.
Was with a mediocre Subway joke. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Not all the
real
goofs are 100%, all right? I'm working on it, okay? I've only been doing this for a year. Give me some slack.
Yeah, so ultimately, I think it's a good excuse to remember the original. And it could have been successful in bringing back that nostalgia with a new twist. And in some minor ways, it definitely was. But overall, I don't think it's worth it.
No, especially not with the final moments.
No! Oh, God. Just the last, half of the movie was just rough.
Which is a shame, because that's the half that Bonji appears in.
Yeah, oh, man. You know what? Take away all of the trainers except Bonji.
Just have the Bonji story.
Yes! Bonji in a world filled with Pokemon. Then you're set.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
He's just going after all the bitches and hoes. Which, oh my god, that'd be amazing. Also, I loved the fan theory that we came up with for Bonji having a beard that's just a Mankey.
Oh yeah, the first time you look at him, it looks like it's just a Mankey beard. And imagine how good of a moment it is. You see this big, burly beard, and then towards the end, maybe he mentions that he's a trainer or something, and maybe they ask what his Pokemon is, and then the Mankey just gets off of his chin, leaving him barefaced, and then the Mankey, and it would have been a great moment.
Just pops off,
It would have been great comedy.
It would have been amazing, but we didn't get any human characterization in this movie, so it didn't matter.
No.
All right, and I have to ask one other question, because I don't know if you noticed, but there was 2 big things missing from this story that people would have expected in a revamped series.
Are you talking about the 2 people missing?
Yes.
Yes, Brock and Misty were not in. I thought that was okay.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly fine thing to revamp, because if anything, it was one of the weirder parts of the main series why 2 gym leaders would just go. With Misty, it made a little bit more sense. With Brock, not really.
I mean, there was some sense to it.
There was some sense, but it was still pushing it a little bit. And I think revamping with new little side characters, although I don't think it did a good job of introducing or characterizing those side characters, I think that's a perfectly fine decision to make.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. Although I still would have liked to see those gym battles, personally.
Yeah, I think it may have had the mentality if we show them, then people might get angry that they're not with, so just remove them completely. It's definitely damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario there.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're going for fan service, but
they still kept Team Rocket, Lord knows.
Yeah, which Oh my god. Can we just say the worst cameo I've ever seen in a film ever?
It's rough. It's bad.
Because they serve no purpose and they never interact with the main characters at all.
They don't do anything. They're just there to be like, hey guys, Team Rocket's in it.
Yeah, and some of their classic goofs and jokes just aren't there.
Yeah.
And the jokes they do make fall flat.
And James, oh god, James.
Yeah, they have a different voice actor for him, which is...
They might have had a different voice actor for the other two, for Meowth and Jesse as well. But the other two were much better. For James, oh dear God.
He just didn't have his old cadence, and it wasn't right.
It was rough.
It felt bad. It made me sad.
Oh boy, it's been a rough week.
Yeah, but Remington, the reason I showed you this movie, one, to boozle you a bit.
Yep, succeeded.
I'd call this like a triple boozle, I think.
I went back and forth many times.
That was the plan. And the other thing I wanted to point out about this movie, aside from being okay with fan service, ultimately, Rem, I think this movie is just a big advertisement.
Oh, I mean,
more so
all
more so than the other Pokemon series, because this was kind of shameless in its advertising premise, because some of the most heavily featured Pokemon were from the Alola region, which just appeared right when this movie was released.
I don't think that that's a terrible decision, and I think that Pokemon does that a lot. If you aren't okay with marketing, and maybe it was more prominent here than in some others, but if that is a problem for you, then I think you just don't like Pokemon, or almost can't like Pokemon.
I just wish they had focused on the good things, Remington. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Just take away all the people and you're set.
I love a good advertisement as much as the next guy. Well, actually... A lot of advertisements piss me the hell off. Wouldn't this be a great episode to be our first sponsor?
Oh, if only.
Nobody wants to give us money. It's fine. But ultimately, Rem, I guess I have one final question to ask you. You interested in watching Pokemon Movie 20, I Choose You again? Ever?
No, I'm very sufficient to try and forget it at all costs.
But it's because they love you, Rem.
No!
They love you so much.
Oh, God.
So much that they want to take your childhood and just kind of stomp on it.
I don't want to think about it.
And you won't have to for at least a week. But with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the mad, nostalgic ramblings of two closeted nerds, well, we're not really that closeted, are we?
No, we're pretty overt.
Yeah, we just happen to record in the closet occasionally. Then please leave a review on whatever platform you listen to, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, or if you want to help us grow even more, word of mouth is the best way to do it.
And if you would like to contact us directly, whether that is for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, then you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or you can send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
And we will be periodically dropping links to our new Discord server on the Twitter, so keep an eye out for those if you want to communicate with weebs and non-weebs alike and just ask the question why.
And by the time this episode comes out, I should be on the Discord.
You piece of shit. You lying piece of trash.
There's gonna be a riot started in the Discord after me.
Yeah, there already has, my dude. There already has.
Will I learn my lesson? Will I be on Discord?
Well, depending on what anime we do next, we'll find out.
Oh no!
And with that, guys, thank you once again, and don't fuck your sister.
Da-da-da-da.